What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the GINN podcast. This is your host, Gilbert Sanchez. If you're new here, y'all can call me G. Basically, this podcast is life events, stories, advice. We are currently in San Antonio, Texas. So my whole thing here in this new studio, if you're not familiar, just moved into a new studio, is I'm trying to go around San Antonio interviewing people around here that are doing big things, that are actually putting in the work, putting in the effort, and just showcasing the actual process as far as how they got there. But yeah, if you're listening right now on streaming platforms, appreciate you clicking on. If you're listening right now on YouTube, yeah, appreciate you clicking on it and watching the actual live, well, not live, but episode. And yeah, we'll get into it. This guest right here, but I've had him on before. It was a dope episode. It was actually the first time the first time we met, and then it was, I don't even think his fight had been scheduled or anything like that yet, just because of COVID.
Right.
This was
The preparation.
Yeah, it was definitely a preparation. So it was back in March, I believe, and yeah, it got a scheduled fight, and we'll talk about everything. But Brandon, what's up? How you been, man?
You know, I've been good, bro. Just staying focused, man. You know, yeah, I took my first L, you know, but if anything, it put a fire under my ass.
We man, you literally just jumped right into it. We're gonna get into the whole. we're literally gonna get into the whole process as far as you going leading up to the event, the actual event, and then of course the aftermath of how you feel and how it went, what the emotions were. But I first want to start off. So it was in Arlington, Texas, right?
Yeah.
So the event was, I believe it was called, what was
it? It was called Extreme Knockout 50.
Okay.
Yeah, promotion based out of Dallas or Arlington.
Arlington.
Everything's tied in together over there. But been around for a very long time, and to tell you the truth, it's like the mecca of mixed martial arts in Texas.
Yeah, man. That place was, that event center was dope. They had tons of bars, where the actual ring was, or the cage. That place was dope because they had pretty much the upper part where you can actually check it out from the top view. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
I don't even know if those people were actually paid. Like they paid to actually see it. I guess they were just eating there. But I mean, either way, it was
that whole section, like the downstairs and the upstairs, you had to pay. Like for the upstairs, those tables upstairs were actually, they cost more than the downstairs.
Oh, damn.
You just get a better view.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's freaking pretty accurate. I would think too as well, because I mean you can see everything from the top. So,
and you know what the craziest part was, man? So prior to the fight actually happening, I gotta get a feel for the cage. You know, it's a different cage. You saw how it was a square cage?
Yeah.
So like, you know, the promotions that I fought on, you know, usually are, you know, a circle or octagon type of cage, but this one was a square cage. So I'm in there moving around, getting a feel for it, and I didn't realize when I stood in the center, I looked across, and it's the fucking Dallas Cowboys stadium, dude. Like you could see it from the cage. It was like, what the heck? This is some big boy shit.
Yeah, bro. That stadium. Have you ever been to like that stadium where the Cowboys game or anything like that?
Dude, I never have. I love the Cowboys. I just never been to the game at the new stadium.
Bro, it is huge, man. It is huge. I went to a boxing event in March of 2019, and I mean pre-COVID, so the whole place was just jam packed with people. And yeah, man, it was crazy big. Parking lot is huge, but I guess that whole area, I mean, I think it was like Six Flags, that event center, the Dallas Cowboys. It was freaking the Rangers. Rangers field was there too as well. So that whole place is fucking booming. It was wild.
Yeah, dude. Basically, that center that we fought at, it was like a La Cantera, but like a shopping center, but way bigger,
like times 5.
Yeah, times 5, because they had like so many different like restaurants, bars, and stores and shit like that. But it was a great experience, man. For sure.
If you ever been to the spot we're talking about, I'm sure you know. I believe it's called Live.
It's called Texas Live.
Texas Live. Okay. I mean, I'm sure you know. If you haven't, you just Google it. You'll see what we're actually talking about. Tons of fucking shopping centers, bars, just like you said. But first thing I wanna get into is the actual training process, like leading up to this MMA fight. What was what was the hardest struggle you had to go through, if you had any, or the best thing you went through?
So this whole preparation, man, was it was really tough. You know, I've been, staying in the gym steady, man, consistent since, fucking when I was supposed to fight back in April 2020, you know what I mean? And I just been grinding and grinding and getting better. But so when I got the call finally that, hey, we got you a match, XKO, 6 weeks from now, be ready. We already had an opponent set up. Everything was squared away. So, like I mentioned on the first podcast, I was already in that fight camp mindset, just nothing else exists except the task. So that means, clean eating, staying focused with your preparation and just feeling like shit on a stick every day. Just putting your body through a lot of things, man. And the crazy part is, so I was getting prepared for a certain opponent. And the guy I was supposed to fight originally, it was supposed to be, a grappler, really good grappler. So we were working on a lot of different things, of course, takedown defense and just having the urgency to get back to the feet, and just controlling the center of the cage and things like that. We had a really solid game plan figured out, with the team and my coach. And then, dude, on a 10-day notice,
I seen that.
I got a phone call that he backed out.
I seen that.
For whatever reason, I'm not sure, but it is what it is. That's the fight game. Shit happens like that all the time. So I was really, of course, pissed off. But, my coach is like, listen, there's still good news. I was like, okay, well, what the hell is the good news? He's like, somebody's filling in. I was like, okay, who? They're like, this guy, Kevin Fernandez. I was like, okay, well, I don't know who that is, but I don't give a shit because I already got people going. You know what I'm saying? People are going to buy the pay-per-view. Thank God Kevin took the damn fight, and there was still a fight that was going to happen. Because honestly, man, if they would have just been like, oh, we ain't got no more fight for you, I don't know, man. I would have lost my shit.
That would have sucked, man, because you did all this preparation leading up to, I mean, even before you got the call as far as getting the fight. I know, like I said on the previous episode, you were still in the mindset of, damn, I'm fighting this year, like for sure. So you have to be prepared even before that. And when I seen that, I mean, obviously, who knows what the reason was for that guy backing out. So, but what was the switch? Like, what was did you have to look at film or did you have to switch your game plan up with your coach? Like, what was that like?
Yeah. So, surprisingly, when that should happen, it was like, okay, Kevin Fernandez, who's this guy? So we, look him up, and he was 2-1 in mixed martial arts, but he's a 3-0 kickboxer.
Okay.
He's a Muay Thai fighter. And I checked out some of his stuff, and he's got solid technique and, pretty, tall kid, had pretty good technique from what I've seen. So I was like, hell yeah, man, I'm excited. I get to showcase my striking skills against another striker, and that's really what I was looking forward to ultimately. So we really didn't have to change much of anything. Honestly, we just were like, all right, you know what, Brandon, do what you do best, go out there and just have fun. That was the mindset leading in, I was already ready to go, whether it was going to go to the floor or not, because like I mentioned to you, I was preparing for a grappler at first, but when I saw that Kevin Fernandez was filling in and, that he's a striker, I was like, all right, cool, man. I was excited to stand and bang with this guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Ready to go to war.
Yeah, dude. So I had that mindset ready to go to war, like you said. So 10-day notice. All right. We changed it up a little bit. I wasn't too stressed out, about the opponent changing. Sometimes, that can be stressful because, you got to change up your shit for a whole new person. But ultimately, I was already ready for this guy, wherever the fight was going to end up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, so the whole preparation was just, all right, now you know what you got to do. Let's make that weight, be ready.
How was that weight process? Was there, cutting weight, was there any, how much were you weighing before you actually?
So what was your I was weight? On track with my weight already. Okay. So 10 days out, I fight at 25. So, I was already walking at 33.
Oh, okay.
So I was pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't that
pretty
bad.
Good. But when we got that phone call, they changed the weight to 30. So because Kevin was taking it on a 10-day notice, I'm guessing they gave him that wiggle room to at least, get to 130 pounds instead of 125 on a 10-day notice. That's tough for anybody, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what you walk at. But I was like, you know what? That's great. 130 pounds. Then that means I can eat a little more.
Yeah, exactly.
And take it a little easy on that weight cut. So, you know, I actually have a funny story about the weight cut. So, okay, so we get to the hotel, right? The day before the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a schedule because of COVID and all that. Like the commission had a set schedule for everybody. You know, right when we had to check in, I think at 8 o'clock, get COVID tested, go straight to your room. And then everybody had an assigned time to weigh in at, right? So
y'all didn't weigh in together?
No. So we all had to go separate, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know, I'm used to like weighing in, you know, and then facing off against your opponent. We didn't get to do none of that. So we get to the hotel and I was at 133 at this time. So the week of the fight, you know, like I mentioned, I was eating more. I had a little more play around room for the weight cut. So I wasn't stressed out about it. I was like, all right, cool. I got to weigh in. I think it was supposed to be at 1:20 p.m. I was like, so we get there at 8 o'clock, COVID test. We got all that time to make weight. All right, cool. So I was like, it's going to be easy. We get there. It was a long ass drive, dude. My coach picked me up like at 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning because, you know, that Austin construction that's going on and traffic and all that shit. You know, we didn't want to get there late, you know, so we got there on time. Dude, when it came to that test, I was thinking that because there's so many different COVID tests nowadays, they did the shove that shit up your nose.
Oh,
man.
damn.
Dude.
Yeah.
And like weight cutting, you're already, you know, and you're already stressed out. Your body's stressed out. You're pissed off already. You know what I'm saying? And then shoving that shit up my nose, man, it sucked.
No, bro. Trust me.
You ever got that done to you?
Yeah, bro. When COVID first happened, I definitely got that done, bro. I couldn't, the emotions you're already feeling on top of that. I wouldn't know how it felt, but I can see how you would feel.
Yeah,
with that
and you know, I was doing my best to like not be an asshole. You know what I mean? Because the nurses, they were nice ladies, man. So, you know, oh man, but it felt like hell.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? So we got that shit out the way. You know, we check in, and then you know, I'm chilling on the bed. I'm falling asleep. You know, trying to take a nap because I'm fucking tired. And then my coach wakes me up. He's like, "Hey, they want you to weigh in earlier." I was like, what do you mean? I thought I was supposed to weigh in at 1:20 p.m. Nah, dude, they want you to weigh in the next hour. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm 3 pounds over. What the fuck you want me to do? Like, so it's like, Jesus. So, you know, we rush. We have those little blow up sauna kits.
Yeah.
You ever seen those where you sit down and you can like dip it up and
it's real small. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I was like, shit, dude, we got to figure this out. So, you know, I put on my little sauna suit real quick. I put on Sweet Sweat. We're running on the treadmill. You know, I think I lost like 1.5 pounds. And then they're like calling my coach, hey, where's Brandon? We need him to come in like 30, or I think it was like 20 minutes. So then I sit in the little sauna that they already had it ready for me. So I sit in there, you know, I'm naked basically. You know, they covered me with towels and I'm in there and dude, I made weight like within an hour. I cut 3 pounds within an hour.
Jesus.
Dude, but like it pissed me off because they're telling us, okay, you're going to weigh in at 1:20 p.m.
A set time,
Yeah, set time. And then, you know, not even an hour of getting COVID tested, you know, my coach is waking my ass up. Hey, dude, they need you to weigh in within the hour. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So that was frustrating. You know what I'm saying? But I made the weight.
Yeah.
You know, and Kevin made the weight. So, you know, that was cool. And then after that, it was pretty much smooth sailing, man.
How was because that's the first time you ever fought for Extreme Knockout, right?
Yeah.
How was like the hospitality? Like, because that was my first time ever hearing of the actual company. And apparently, I mean, I think they said that it's been going on since like 2009, 2010. So there's definitely fights that have been going on, which is pretty cool to see. So how was that, like the actual,
you know,
other than the COVID testing, because I mean the weigh-in?
I was very excited, man. A lot of guys that are currently on the UFC roster have came from Extreme Knockout.
Oh, okay.
You know, guys from Texas.
Yeah.
So it's a really solid organization, and I was super excited. But the thing is, with Extreme Knockout, like if you're gonna fight with Extreme Knockout, you're gonna be fighting like somebody legit,
top
like,
tier. Yeah.
Like it's a privilege to be able to fight for that promotion, and I'm thankful, and I thank God that they gave me the opportunity to go out there. So I was very, very excited, man, to go out there. And the cool thing was when we got to the venue, you know, so they separate you by corners. I was on the blue corner. So usually like the blue corner is people from out of town, usually the people that are coming in. and then red corner is usually like the hometown guys.
Yeah.
So they had to separate it. So in the blue corner, you got all different teams from all over the place. I made some good friends, man. I made some friends with some guys from El Paso, pretty cool guys. Got to learn about them, and then I met some like legit fighters from like the Dallas area that were in the corner. They're pretty cool people, man. I was really excited, and I ran into some UFC fighters too that are currently on the roster that were there supporting like their friends and their teams. And so it was an awesome experience, man. Besides the fight, like it was a really awesome experience.
Well, shit, that's what we're gonna get into next. So you leading up to this fight, obviously the mindset is winning.
You're right.
Your biggest thing is winning. I think that's for everybody that's actually getting into that kind of combat
especially
sport.
Any competition for sure.
Yeah, any competition. So I wanna say my story. So there was. And then we can go into yours because I want to know like your just the whole process. But so leading up to the fight, there was a couple fights. I think there was a good I would say 5, 6. I don't know if you remember how many fights were before.
There was 5 because I was the opener for the main event.
Main event, okay. And there were some pretty good fucking fights. So it was definitely worth it. And then obviously you were up next, and the fight was one of those things where it was just like I felt nervous only because I was like, damn, this is a big thing for him. Just like you said, it was they were showcasing people on like the fucking big ass TV they had there that were people that had fought in the UFC or that went on to fight in the UFC. So at that point, I'm like, okay, this is big for him. So I'm there, and we're like 3 rows out. 4 rows out, and fight ends in maybe like less than a minute and 15. And at first I had no idea what happened. No idea, because the fight went onto the ground, and then within maybe about 15, 20 seconds, it was done. I was just like, what the fuck? Me, Caesar, Eric, we all looked at each other, and we were all like, what?
Everyone was confused. Yeah.
I was definitely confused.
Even the commentators on the pay-per-view. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So I want to hear your side of the story as far as like when you jumped in the ring and then that fucking time started clicking. Take me through that whole, if you remember, because I know obviously it happened.
Oh, dude, I remember it very clearly. So what's crazy is this is the first fight where I didn't really have a lot of jitters. Like the walkout, I felt great, dude. I felt great in the warm up in the back. I felt real good. I was ready to go. It's been a whole year since I fought. I was ready to go out there and showcase my skills. You know what I'm saying? And so that walkout is usually like the scary part. For some people, me personally, that's like it's the nervous part for me. But in this case, I was enjoying the moment, man. It was awesome. Fucking, it was a big deal. So going into the cage, I felt great. I didn't have, much anxiety to deal with. I had a very, very clear head, so I was thinking very clearly. And then, once they, rang that bell, I came forward. Of course, my whole thing was to be first. That's my whole thing, to be first. And especially when you go against a solid kickboxer, you don't want them to get that pace on you or that rhythm. Once you let them get their rhythm, that's where they could pick you apart. You know what I'm saying? So I came in, to control the center of the ring, and while I was coming forward, he caught me with like a right hand or something. He threw like a right hook, and he hit me. Landed on my head. It wasn't clean, but it hit me pretty good on the top of the head. I remember that, but it was like a button to me. So right when he hit me, I threw a left hand and a right hook. So when I threw that right hook, it connected clean. He actually wobbled. So in the film, if you see it, he wobbled. Was like, oh shit, So when I hit him with that right hook, I was supposed to follow up right away with a roundhouse kick. But what I did was I threw a left hand right hook, and I paused for like a second, which was my first mistake. So this guy, being a kickboxer, he's trained to obviously, catch kicks and things like that. He caught my kick perfectly. So when I threw that roundhouse kick, he caught it, fell to the ground.
Yeah.
And it was as quick as this. So literally, I made one simple mistake. Once we fell to the ground, And I was trying to get back up. You know, I had my hands on the mat. He fucking got that Darce choke. He slipped it in and it got a pretty tight grip. Now, this kid has leverage. He has long ass arms. So it's not hard for someone with that length to get a type of choke like that on somebody.
Yeah.
So once we were in that choke, I was like, oh shit. So I was scrambling. I was trying to get out of it. Like, I don't know if you were able to see it from your side.
You, I don't know what, I know what you did. You basically were trying to get out of that. So you were, I don't know the actual movement. What is it? Just trying to flip out of it?
I was just trying to roll out of it, dude.
Roll out of it.
So we were both on our backs, and in that choke, you know, they hold you like this, and they're trying to get closer to make it more tight.
Yeah.
So I was making separation, you know, to hopefully hopefully he lets fucking go. Hopefully he gasses his arm out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm making separation, and I was doing everything right. And then when we got to our knees, I grabbed his leg, or like a single leg. But what I was trying to do was I was trying to stand back up to my feet and then, you know, fight off the choke and push him on the fence. But my mistake was at that point when I was already getting to my knees or to my feet, when I grabbed his leg, I was already kind of going unconscious because that shit was tight, dude.
Yeah.
That shit was tight. And what I should have did was I should have grabbed his leg and sunken it in and drove forward into like a different position. If I would have drove forward, I probably could have got him in side control and I could have fought the choke. But at that point, he was smart, obviously, enough to change it into a different transitional period. So he changed the Darce choke to a guillotine. By that point, he pulled guard and I fell in his guard.
Yeah.
And I was already pretty much unconscious, dude. And then he, you know, got that choke, sanked all the way in, and then I fell asleep.
Yeah.
So this is the funny thing. So I went limp. I was out for like 5 seconds probably already. And Kevin, you know, he let go. He let go. And I remember waking up and he's talking to me. He's like, "You good?" Right?
Yeah.
And I started laughing. I was like, "Hey, man, I fell asleep. You won."
Yeah.
And the ref didn't see that shit.
Yeah.
The ref was confused, just as the crowd was, just as everybody on the TV was. He was looking at me. The ref was like, "What the fuck's going on?" You know, but
because your face was down, so he couldn't. So you're in a chokehold and your face is down, so the ref is not.
But see, on the film from the left side where the ref sat, if you would have paid attention to my arm, I was limp. Like I was like this, like holding on to, like trying to frame, and then
yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So the ref comes up and he's like, "What's going on?" And I told him, I was like, "Hey, I fell asleep."
Yeah,
he won. You know, and that was that. Of course, I could have. So when Kevin let go, I could have just started taking off on him. I could have, but I didn't because that was genuine of him to let go.
Yeah, that was.
You know what I mean?
Both. I mean, that just shows what type of class y'all both have. Because exactly, you could have easy just started going off, and then you were on top of him.
Yeah,
you were conscious at that point, and all of us were all standing up confused, and we're the same. We were the same, saying the same thing, like because we saw y'all talking, and I think Caesar was the first one to say, I think he fell asleep. I think he was unconscious. And then my head was like, if the ref didn't see and the ref didn't stop it, why is Brandon going to stop? But after we were all just talking, we were like, damn, if he was really asleep and he ended up just letting go, he could have just been a dick and just kept on holding until the ref saw something, and then you would have been far worse.
Well, because ultimately your job is to keep going until the ref stops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or the ref stops you. You know what I mean? So, you know, like,
yeah.
So that's why I just admitted defeat. I was like, "You beat me." You know, you like, you know, that was cool of him, I guess, you know, to let go, but fuck it. I wasn't going to tap out, dude. Like I wasn't, bro. Like I could have. I was like, but I have that mindset when I'm fighting is I'm going out on my shield, dude. You're going to have to knock me out or fucking put me to sleep, man.
I want to ask you, since you just said that, when do you know, like, to tap out? Because it's happening so fast and you're in a position where it's just, you're trying to get out, but then you can't really get out, but then he has you in this chokehold and you're trying to like defend it. And then like, is tapping out and it's still in the back of your head, or are you just trying to fuck it? Let's just try to get out of this.
No, I like tapping out never came to my head, dude. I was just trying to fucking survive. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I already like felt like when I started going unconscious, I was like, well, so be it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Cause dude, fuck that, bro. Like, it's a fight, man. Like, I never have quit in me. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, anything could have happened. You know, we could have went. He could have let go. Like his arms could have gassed out. You know, I could have survived. Who knows? You never know. Yeah. It's just in the heat of the moment. Me personally is tapping out. It's not. It doesn't come to mind. Quitting just doesn't come to mind. And that's not just with fighting. That's with my life in general, dude. Like, you know, like we've talked about in the first podcast. You know, if I've gone through a fair share of my trials, you know, in life, and I've never been a motherfucker to quit, man. You know what I'm saying? And that shit it does run in my blood. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Joe Rogan, I was watching a UFC fight. This was like a year ago. And he was saying that a knockout is, and this is, I don't know why it blew my mind, but I guess it makes sense now. But a knockout is worse than being and going unconscious.
It actually is.
Yeah. And if you can explain to me how is being unconscious like far better than getting knocked out?
Because you literally just go to sleep. So it's instead of taking damage like getting knocked out where your brain rattles and shit like that, it's just literally you just don't have any air going to the oxygen going to your brain, and you just fall asleep. So, I mean, I'm not no fucking doctor. Maybe it causes damage still. I have no idea. Yeah. You know, I've never been the ssmartest fucking guy, so it is what it is. You know, I'm the same. Or if I got dumber, I don't know. But to tell you the truth, when it comes to getting knocked out, you know, it fucks you up. You know, your brain, and not only that, it fucks up your mental game for your next fight, depending on the type of person you are. You know, some guys just don't give a fuck, man. I've seen guys that just don't give a fuck. Like they get knocked out and they come back this next fight just as aggressive as they were the first fight, which, you know, might not always be the smartest thing, but you know, it is what it is. But yes, that's ultimately why, because when you get knocked out, you get a lot of damage done to your brain because it's a concussion. You know what I mean? Yeah. You ever had a concussion before?
No, I never. Yeah, never. And I don't want one based off what I've seen.
Shit, man.
I don't want one, man.
Nah, dude. You know, so see, that's why, like me personally as a fighter, man, we're really big on fundamentals at my gym. You know, me and my coach are always, you know, trying to, like me personally, I'm a pretty fast guy. Like I got fast footwork. You know, we work on, you know, having fast head movement and a lot of things just to not have to take so much damage. Yeah. Some guys like to get hit. Some guys like to stand in the pocket, bang it out, whatever. I mean, I'll do what I got to do to win. You know, ultimately that's what it is. Like I mentioned, you know, the task is to win. But, you know, I try to be as smart as fighter as I can. You know what I'm saying? So
how huge was your coach? Because I met him at the fight for the first time. Obviously, Caesar and Eric have been going to your gym for a while now. Yeah. And cool dude, man. You would never think that he's so chill like that. He's chill, man.
You think he's chill?
Yeah.
You gotta go to one of his classes.
No, and see, that's exactly what I was gonna say next. Eric was the first thing he said, not the first thing, but like just when we're after the fight, he was just telling Eric, like, just, hey man, just go ahead and let's go ahead and fight. And let's go ahead and fight. Like he was trying to, I guess, get Eric to fight. I'm sure he was playing, maybe he wasn't.
He actually wants Eric to fight, man.
Yeah, I think Eric was saying, I don't really remember the conversation we were having, but I think Eric was saying something like that. And I don't know where Eric head is at, because we really, all of us are him. He hasn't said anything, but the coach was mentioning that. But my question is, how huge is your coach for you? Like how influential is your coach throughout the actual process?
Man, Coach Ernest is a father figure to me. You know, my dad passed away a long time ago, years back. And like, ever since I've been in that gym, we developed like a father-son type of relationship. But besides that, he's a huge mentor at the same time, especially when it comes to the fight game. You know, Coach Ernest, his teaching style, you gotta have thick skin, man. I tell you that right now. And I tell everybody that's like, hey, I want to come try out your gym. I'm like, cool, man, come by. But I tell you right now, you better have thick skin, because he's gonna push you past your limits. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you're gonna break. You know, some people don't break, you know, and if you don't break, it's because you're crazy in the head, and I respect you for that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, during the whole process, man. So after my fight, after I lost, you know, we're walking out in the back, and you know, he was talking to me, and he was like, "Hey, mijo, like, it's okay, you know, your first L, but you know, it's a learning lesson. You know, we're gonna go back to the gym, go back to the drawing board. We're gonna fix what needs to be fixed." He goes, "I'm proud of you. You went out there, you fucking got in there, and you went out on your shield." And to tell you the truth, like, so many people can talk shit and say what they want to say, but try getting in that motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
no joke.
Yeah.
You know? And I'll be honest, you know, I cried for like 10 minutes. You know, I cried for like 10 minutes. I was upset because I didn't get to fight.
No,
you know?
bro, trust me. I can see like you do all this preparation for even before you got that phone call, and you're making sacrifices an hour before the actual fight to get in that to lose those 3 pounds, and the fight ends in less than a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's you days, months that you're doing just for a minute and a half loss. That's fucking hard to take in. Like, that's a hard pill to swallow, honestly.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I would fucking cry too, man. It probably would have been longer for 10 minutes. I'll be honest with you, because you have to take that L, but the only thing is that lesson learned. Like you just finished going over the mistakes you make. 'Cause I'm sure you already knew the mistakes you made right after the actual fight. Like, damn, I could have done this. This would have turned out a different way. And then even after that, you could have watched the actual film. You could have learned a ton of more things you actually did wrong that is going to lead you into your next fight. That's going to help you. So yeah, man, the whole process, I'm sure, was fucking hard, especially being at that event in front of all those people. It's difficult.
It's like I felt, because I didn't realize I had such a huge support system. And you know what? The beautiful thing about losing is that you see who really supports you after the event happened. And you know, when I was back there, you know, like I said, I was crying for a little bit. You know, coach is like, "Don't cry, man." He's like, "It's okay."
Yeah.
He's like, "We're gonna fix the shit that needs to be fixed." You know, I cried, like I said, just because I'm fucking better than that, dude. I'm fucking better than that, man. And you know, I didn't get a fucking fight. It is what it is. But there was a coach in the back from Dallas, one of the Dallas teams. I don't remember his name, but you know, coach was, you know, he was talking to my coach. He was like, "Yeah, it wasn't our night." You know, he told him what happened, and that coach is like, "You know, I'm a black belt. I've been a black belt for like 5 to 8 years." He goes, "Dude, I never fucking tap out either." He's like, "Kudos to you, bro." He's like, "You gotta fucking break my arm or put me to sleep." He's like, "I fuck with you." You know what I mean? And another key thing that I remembered that night that I take with me, because I'm still amateur. So the reality is, none of these fights actually count, because when you go professional, your record starts back to 0-0. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, yeah, I didn't know that until the night of. Until me and we're all talking about how this fight is. It doesn't go into your professional record.
So it's all experience. That's what it is. So Coach Mondo from El Paso, shout out to Coach Mondo and his team, all really solid dudes. You know, I was already kind of like buzzed at this point, because we were back at the hotel, and he was drinking at the hotel. He goes, "Check this out, Brandon. As bad as this sounds, I'm gonna be straight up with you." He goes, "Take advantage of being amateur. Why? Because it doesn't fucking matter." He's like, "That might sound bad, but take advantage of it, because you got to know what it's like to win in the first round. You got to know what it's like to lose by split decision. You got to know what it's like to get put to sleep. And you got to know what it's like to get knocked the fuck out."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He told me that, and I was like, and he goes, he's like, "Do all that shit now when you're amateur. So when you're pro, all that shit will be fixed up. I'm not saying it's not going to ever happen to you when you're pro. It still might, you know? But take advantage of that shit now as an amateur." And I thought about it and I was laughing. I was like, well, I already got 2 things crossed off that list. He's like, what's that? I told him, I already knocked out somebody in the first round and I've been put to sleep.
So that's right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you never get knocked the fuck out, right? Nobody wants to get knocked the fuck out, but it is what it is if it happens. But, you know, I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Coach Mondo's right. And, you know, Coach Ernest is right. All this shit's learning experiences. And, you know, I made a simple mistake. That fucking choke could have happened to literally anybody. Because it was like this.
Dang, man.
That dude, kudos to him. He got that choke quick. It was fucking quick. But that Sunday, the day after when we were back in town, you know, Coach Ernest, we had a meeting together at the gym. And, you know, we talked about what needed to be done, what needs to be fixed. And basically just changing up training, the training regimen for the future. You know, we're adding a lot of more things to our training, and we're just, you know, like this fire has been developed, and it's under my ass, it's under my coach's ass, and I'm glad that I lost, dude. To tell you the truth, because now it's like I'm fucking just working non-fucking stop. Like that Monday, dude, I was back at the gym. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was back in there fucking grind. I've been grinding all week, dude. It's not like I ever left. You know, some people, you know, when they lose, they kind of give up on themselves, you know, or they get depressed or shit happens. And I get it. Comes to the fucking mind. Yeah. You know, but me, I'm like, dude, let's fucking get back in that bitch. Win or lose, let's get back in that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. A lot of people get stuck in that notion of, like, hey, I'm never gonna be anybody I lost, and this is it. And it's the fucking mindset of getting into taking the L and just moving on. Like it is what it is. Life goes on. And it's at some point in time you have to figure out like, hey, am I gonna take this L and get better and learn from it? Or if I'm gonna take this L and just fucking eat my life away and just go into the depression mode. Like that's literally what it comes down to, those two options. And you taking the better road, bro. And I mean, it's like I said before, it's a hard position to be in when you take something like that in front of these people, in front of a coach, and you work so hard. And it's but there's nothing better that you can show the people that support you, your coach, your family, your friends, that you're back and you're better than you were before that fight.
Ultimately, dude, 100%. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. And you know what? Coach Ernest told me this straight up. He's like, mijo. Because I posted, I was like, I'm sorry, San Antonio, I let all of you down, right? Because that's how I genuinely felt at that time. Because I had so much, you know, support behind me. He's like, don't give a fuck about anybody. He's like, you're not fighting for me. You're not fighting for the gym. You're not fighting for San Antonio. You're fighting for yourself. He's like, worry about yourself in that bitch. Don't have all these different stresses in your mind prior to the fight, because that causes pressure. And he's right. You know, I kind of had some pressure behind me. I'm not saying that's the reason why I lost. I'm not making fucking excuses. You know, I lost because Kevin was the better man that night. Yeah. But at the end of the day, he's fucking right. Next time, like this next fight I have coming up, you know, nothing else matters but just me and fucking winning that fight. You know?
When is I mean, you just said it. When is your next fight?
So okay, so yeah, dude, I'm excited. So nothing's confirmed yet. Yeah, but I'm looking to be fighting for a promotion called Fury. Should be fighting in July, hopefully, God willing. Maybe in Houston, Texas.
Nice.
So you know, nothing's concrete yet. Yeah. That's just the talk right now. But so far, that's what we're looking at. July.
Get right back into it, bro.
Getting right fucking back into it.
Love it, man. Just to show people like, hey, I can fucking stand in that ring with anybody you put in front of me at my size, weight, or just whatever. I mean, yeah. Granted, Kevin was like I said, kudos to fucking Kevin, because that shit happened so quick. And yeah, man, the fight was. It was one of those things, and I'll say this with pure honesty. It was one of those things where I was nervous before the fight, but it's like you have to take those lessons and just, I mean, even if you just put it into your fighting, but bigger picture, just like life in general.
Straight up.
take a fucking L, whether if it's.
I mean, you've taken L's in your life, right?
100%, man. I've taken more L's than I've wanted to. I'll be
straight up, bro. I've taken, like you said, I've taken more L's than wins in life, bro. You know, fuck, man. And you know, for my life lessons, you know, it all ties in with fighting. You know, like I talked about the first time on the podcast, fighting has taught me how to be adaptable to stressful situations in life and shit like that. But prior to me even fighting, I already had a strong mind, you know, because I've taken so many L's and I've been in so many uncomfortable positions that I'm not saying I have everything figured out. No, you know, I never will, you know, I'm still learning every day.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm like, dude, let's get right back at it, man. I ain't scared, man. Let's get right back at it. You know, I told coach, just give me a couple of weeks. Let me be fat for a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, let me eat, let me drink, let me have a little good time with my boys, whatever.
Yeah.
And we'll get back to work, you know. But I told him, I was like, as soon as that fight was over, like I told you I was crying. I was like, coach, I was like, fuck that. Give me another fucking fight next week. I don't give a fuck. Please give me another fight.
Yeah, man. Because I mean, you have this, your adrenaline is still fucking pumping through your blood, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's, or just your whole body. So yeah, man, that shit is, I'm sure that's fucking how you felt. Cause I mean, that would happen to me, man. That shit would have been the same way. And it's one of those things where, like I said, you're back, man. And you're working, have a little fun, man. Take some time off but just still work. And that's, people have a hard time figuring out what it is that kind of triggers their mind to get back to work.
Yeah.
But it is, some people have it, some people don't. Some people, it takes more time than others. And at some point in time, you have to fucking just get back to what you're doing. That's going to make your life better. And I mean, it works out all good. So
straight up, man, because the main goal, dude, for me is obviously to make it to the highest level. My goal is to make it to the UFC and be the best I can be. Now, granted, I'm not worried about being the best fighter ever. I'm just worried about being a better version of myself. And whatever that looks like, you know, of course, I'm hungry, dude. Like, I'm fucking hungry. And, you know, I'm not worried about, oh shit, man, you know what? I want to be the next fucking flyweight undefeated champion or whatever. Like, you know, it's not my concern. My concern is just being better, fucking grinding, being consistent, and all that work will show. It will show in the end. And I highly believe in that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, 100%. I want to thank you for coming down here again, man. I know it takes some courage to step in front of a fucking camera, a podcast, and like talk about your whole experience as far as getting in the ring and losing and coming back from it, and the whole mindset of your process is getting back into the ring. So I just want to thank you, bro. Just the appreciation.
No,
again.
man, I appreciate you actually having me here, man.
Yeah, like I said, I was at that fight. I wanted him. I mean, we were. I think you had messaged me, and you were like, "Bro, I have so much to say. Let's get right back into it."
I did. I hit you. I was like, "I have a lot to say, man."
Yeah, and I already knew this conversation. Like, the person you are, the person that was in the last episode of the podcast. I can see where it's coming from. Like, you're fucking hungry. That's just who you are. That's just who you've developed to be. Whether if it's the L's that you've taken, the people that you met, and I see it, man. Like the flowers are being thrown to you right now because I can fucking see where you're headed and the amount of work you're putting into it. It's gonna pay off 100%.
I appreciate you for believing in me, man.
Yeah, man. That shit was dope, man. Other than you losing and it not going your night, that fucking whole experience, in my perspective, I'm sure you can attest to this too, was fucking dope. It was definitely
it was a blessing, dude. Ultimately, and you know what's beautiful? They want me to go back.
Even better.
I talked to the promoter of the company, and he's like, "We want you back."
Yeah.
You know, I was like, that man has faith in me to let me come back. Like after losing that fast, I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude." You know, I'm fucking down. So hopefully before the end of the year, I'll be back with XKO, man. And hopefully you guys can go back out there.
Yeah, bro. And can we talk about how the fucking announcer had like 7 different suits on?
Dude, his name's Antonio Perkins. Hey, man, he's a cool motherfucker. I met him before the fights kicked off. And I talked to him real quick because I was backstage and he had a badass suit on. And I was like, bro, that's a clean ass suit, bro. I told him I need to get my fucking game on whatever the fuck you got going on, dude. But I didn't notice until later that he kept changing his suits.
maybe it was after every fight or every 2 fights, but he damn near had 7 suits on, bro.
He has some clean fucking suits, dude.
Yeah.
I was jealous, bro. And he was just telling me about what kind of suits he had and the material. And I'm like, dude, I don't understand what you're saying, but it's fucking gorgeous.
It was, yeah, he was obviously, he was dope to see. He was a fucking great announcer, but that shit was, I don't think people in the UFC or even in like boxing changed their suits. It was like
Bruce Buffer from the UFC, he changes it. I've seen him change where in the prelims he has one suit on, and then the main event he changes it.
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
I never seen like Antonio where he like it was like every fucking fight, right? He was changing it, something like that.
Yeah,
you know. And my hats off to him because he said my name badass, dude.
Yeah, he did. He did. He actually,
because he asked me too. He was like, "Hey, how do you say your name again?" And I told him, and he had it on spot.
Yeah.
Had it on the fucking spot.
That's fucking dope. But anything you want to say before we fucking get up out of here, bro?
Yeah, man. I appreciate everyone for the support. I feel bad for the fucking next opponent I have coming up because I'm fucking grinding like a motherfucker. So hopefully whoever that is will be ready. And at the same time, I just appreciate everybody and thank you, God. Thank my family. And I promise you guys, all this shit's gonna pay off, and you'll see me at the very top one of these days.
100%, bro. Appreciate you coming down here again, Brandon. It was a fucking blessing to have you again just to talk about all the shit we talked about. Guys, we're going to end it there. If you're still tuning in, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, blow up this channel because I really, really appreciate it. If you're on all streaming platforms, thank you for listening. Hats off to Brandon one more time. That's going to be it, guys. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Appreciate it. Take care.